Some would say, and I think going along the lines of with Kathy's dad talking about some of the concerns that she has regarding, do I really need this? Would Are there concerns about losing security issues when you speed up access as much as you're proposing, as we're looking at? Is there a concern for the average Joe that security would be compromised in any way?
No more than the regular internet. Part of the new technologies out there are making the internet more reliable and more secure. And the days of as much rampant viruses and worms have become less and less and less. I remember 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when I first got into the internet business, really kind of at the beginning, it was a little bit more of a Wild West. But everybody knows everything is going onto the internet. Your cell phone's on the internet, your PC's on the internet. Pretty soon your security system and your cameras in your house are going to be on the internet, so you can check on your kids at home. So, the security of the network of the internet has become better and better and better. Certainly, you've always got to watch yourself. Don't click on too many spam emails, and there's nothing's too cheap or free. But I think it's not really a concern. The more capacity you have, the better you're able to monitor and maintain the network.
And what would operating at that speed? What would that mean to local municipalities?
Well, I think increasing the technology, the capability, there's a lot of applications where we could have an interactive dialogue with our citizenry. One thing that we've been working on home TV in part of the region is this regional media center. And I think that would help bring that about, where we can communicate better with our citizens as a region if we had that capability, and perhaps have an interactive live polling. There's several creative things that would bring about if we had this ability. So you have to look at the possibilities, and so we can be rather creative.
How are these communities involved in this particular regional effort? How are they selected?
They weren't really selected. We kind of had a roundtable format in downtown Lansing, and Kathy Dunbar and a number of other people, Joe Manzella, were aware of the Google bid, and we just kind of had a meeting and put it all together. And it was kind of Google just came out with this thing a month or so ago, and they want it all done on by March 23rd. So it was a really relatively short window. But everybody's invited. It's just we got this group together to try and get an application, and it's a fairly extensive application, so it's a lot of work in a short time frame. Mm-hmm. And so I think Google's looking for communities that are ready to hit the ground running and ready to work. One thing I'd like to mention, which is very important, we need one thing that's important to the application process is local community support. Sure. So we need people. We set up a website, Joe did, called Greater Lansing for Google, and that's 4 with a number. So it's greaterlansing4google.com. And you can submit to Google data about your existing internet connection and whether you think it'd be a good idea for them to come. They're interested in collecting data and understanding what the community is like before they select it. So if you go to greaterlansing4google.com, there's a link right from there. We've also got a Facebook group set up as well. Do you recall what the Facebook name is?
Google for Greater Lansing, or Greater Lansing for Google?
Yep, just type it in. It's
some combination thereof.
Yep, and then we have a whole bunch of people already on there, so there's a lot of interest already. But we need people in the local communities to go in and voice their support directly to Google. We want to make sure that they know that people in the region are interested in new technology.
Mm-hmm. So it's not just community leaders you need residents to actually get involved?
We need a lot of residents. And this is kind of where Accelerate Lansing comes in. We're trying to help with the grassroots support thing. We need residents, we need church groups, we need PTAs, absolutely every organization you could think of. Because each organization will have a reason or skin in this game about why they would like to see this type of internet speed. So relating that story, getting creative about it too, making a YouTube video, doing some type of video or photograph project. If you were to make a cardboard cutout of Larry Page and take him all around town, Larry Page.
I've seen those cutouts.
I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but getting creative with it, having a lot of fun with it, and making making Google feel welcome, because we are going to be inviting them into our community. We might see some trucks, some construction trucks. We just need to let them know that that's okay. We're from Michigan. We know what construction is. We have, I think our state plant is the Orange Barrel, if I'm not mistaken. So we've been there before. It's okay. Come on, cut out my backyard. I don't care. And yeah, that's what we need to do.
Let's start with giving our best argument as to why we believe Google should pick this regional effort. Tell me, if you can, in 30 seconds or so, what you think you need to say that will convince the company that this is the place to go.
Well, the number one thing that Google is looking for, they did a project in San Francisco, and they said, we want to build a giant wireless network all through San Francisco. We want to build a test bed for the future of Wi-Fi. And, so they proposed it to San Francisco, and everybody decided, they kind of, had this little internal turf war about, no, we want to lead the Google project. No, this community wants to lead the Google project. Google, like any company, wants to come to an area where it's going to be simple and easy to do business. So a very substantial portion of the application is going over what type of utility infrastructure is in place. Our communities on the same page. A whole bunch of the region's communities have already passed resolutions. I think Meridian Township has one pending, or may have already passed. But I know Lansing's got one that is showing that we'll make it easy for Google to do business here and to put in the infrastructure necessary. So that's a very important aspect. So that's number one. Number two,
just making money basically is what they're looking to do. So we have to kind of show them that we're an
well, if
advocate
it's
for
very
that.
expensive to deploy, they may not pick this area. They've got a set budget. They want to hit as many homes as possible with fiber. So this is a real good area for them to come. Unlike some areas, we don't have mountains, and we've got a lot of telephone poles, and that's pretty easy to do construction in these areas.
And Google has certainly shown a willingness to come and invest in Michigan when other companies did not. So what would be your best argument in 30 seconds or so?
Well, I would say that the fact that they want to make it open access, I mean, they're obviously here to test the market, but they want to make it open access. So they're not trying to compete with other companies that are here. They're trying to advance the internet overall. Mm-hmm. And I think that we're willing, all of our municipalities have shown that we're willing to work together to make that happen. We're certainly not going to be San Francisco. If they want to come and bring their money and give it to us as a gift, we're not going to argue about the color of the wrapping paper. We're going to say thanks.
Yeah,
thanks
exactly.
for choosing Greater Lansing.
I'm sure someone's kicking themselves in San Francisco
Yes.
right about now. Paul?
You know what, I think the diverse population that we have in the greater Lansing area, and I mean that from many different respects, obviously from the demographics, but also our institution, being the home of state government, the great institutions that we have, really 5 higher education institutions aside from Michigan State and LCC Davenport College and of course Cooley Law School. We have a great healthcare system. We have entrepreneurs all the way to manufacturing. So we really cover the gamut. So I think getting into this argument of deploying a similar system elsewhere in the country, I think we're the melting pot, that we can demonstrate that if we can do it here in Lansing, it can be done anywhere across the country.
Joe?
And to echo that, we have microcosms, little bits of all of our region are kind of like little ecosystems that are just like everywhere else in the nation. We have tiny World War II boom, we have boom homes, we have Depression era homes, we have 1990s boom homes, we have every different type of residential option you could really consider, essentially within this area, aside from the big 80-story condo buildings. So if they're looking to test residential fiber in a city that's similar to many cities across the nation, this would be a very good one.
Okay, very quickly, the address for people to show their support?
GreaterLansing4Google.com, and that's a number 4.
Fabulous.
Not the word 4.
Well, best-
Greater Lansing.
For Google.
Excellent. Thank you all so much for all the answers. I'm sure we answered many, many questions here, and thumbs up. And hopefully next time we talk to people, we'll have that project right here in our backyard. So thank you all for being with us.
Thank you.
That's our time. Thanks for watching.